Hello everybody, welcome to this video tutorial. I'd like to show you how to make week 7 of the Crochet Along Last Dance on the Beach by Scheepjes. This square with the heart in it is designed by Maria from 50 Shades of 4-ply in loving memory of Marinka. If you're using the Color Craft or Merino soft yarn, just check which color you need on the pattern for this week. Just a little bit of detail on hooks. I used a 4mm hook for my Color Crafter and a 4.5mm hook for the Merino Soft. However, having said that, this week is tricky when it comes to gauge because this square has a tendency to shrink a little bit when the moment you start working the hearts itself. So I'll be paying a lot of attention to gauge this week because I first worked the square with a 4mm hook for the Merino Soft because I thought my square was going to be too big, and then it actually ended up being too small. So gauge is really important this week, and pay extra attention to which hook size you're using and how it's going with your gauge swatch. Keep on checking that continuously. Take you step by step through each and every row as we go along. It is a beautiful square. I really love this heart and I hope you love it too. A slip knot on your hook. I'm going to start by chaining 30. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 29, 30 chain stitches. You're now going to skip the first chain from your hook, and in that second stitch you're going to work a double crochet. Skip that one, and in the next work a double crochet. And also in the other chain stitches you're going to work a double crochet in each and every chain stitch, and that's going to give you 29 double crochets. And work your way over to the beginning. So almost to the beginning again, work a double crochet in every stitch, also in that first chain, like so. And then you have 29 double crochets. You'll notice your work really curls and turns. Don't worry about this, you'll all straighten this out when we block our square. For row 2, you're going to work a double crochet in each and every stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So in the first stitch, that's going to be this one here, you're going to work a double crochet, and you're going to work one in every stitch. That's going to be 29 in total. Work a double crochet on every stitch, have 2 more stitches here, and then the last stitch is this one, and that chain 1 there from your turn, you're not going to work that, so don't worry about that. So now you have 29 stitches again, and you've worked 2 rows. For row 3 to 7, you're basically going to repeat row 2. So you're going to work 5 more rows of double crochets. So I'm going to work these, and then so I'm making a jump in the video, then I'll see you for row 8 again when we'll be making our first bobble. So go and work 5 more rows of these double crochets. Just done 7 rows. This is what your square looks like at the moment. A good moment to check for size. I'm just going to bring my gauge swatch and then just put my work on top of that. Remember, you've got the edge here, so I'm just going to place it inside of that edge and measure up. And if you look at the width, you'll see that your square is actually, it looks like it's a little bit too large. It's really hanging over the edge here. But don't be misled by this, because the square that we're making now with the heart and the bobbles that make up the heart are going to cause this square to shrink just a little bit. And then you'll notice we must probably end up being just perfect for size. So if you're a little bit over here like I am, that's okay. We're going to make the hearts, and then everything is going to be just fine. But if you are at this point and you're really too short, your square is already well within the limits, there's a good possibility that by the time you make your hearts, your square is really going to be way too small. So if rather being a little bit over than a little bit under at this point. I'm happy with this, so I'm going to continue. Row 8, I'm going to start with a chain 1, turn your work. We're going to work 14 double crochets and then we're going to make the first bobble. So that first stitch, of course for the first double crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, 13, and then this is number 14. So you've worked 14 double crochets on this side. Now you're on the absolute center stitch because it's stitch number 15, and then you have 14 more on this side. So absolutely in the center we're going to make a bobble, and basically this is in one stitch you're working 5 trebles together basically. So it's yarn over, insert into the stitch, pick up a loop just like you're going to work a treble, and then take off those first 2 loops. Now stop, because now you're just doing the first bit of a treble basically, and we're going to do that 4 more times. So yarn over, insert into the same position, pick up a loop and take off 2 loops. Again, yarn over, insert, take off 2 loops. It's 3 times, 4 times, and once more 5 times. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all these loops at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push my hook ever so slightly upwards while I'm doing this. The reason is I don't want my hook to snag here somewhere on these loops while I'm pulling through, because you don't want this happening. I'm just going to push ever so slightly upwards while I'm pulling my yarn through. So yarn over, pull through all these loops and chain 1. That's a bobble stitch. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. That's your first one done. Now on the next 14 stitches we're going to work a double crochet on each again. And especially the first stitch immediately after the bobble, that's this stitch here. You want to make sure you catch the correct stitch, because your bobble can fall a little bit over that and then you don't see it properly. So you see there is your first stitch. I'm going to work the first one of 14 again, because this pattern is symmetric, so everything that you did before the bobble will be the same after the bobble. So we work 14 on this side, so we can work 14 on this side also. It's 2, 3, 4, 13, and the last one here is 14 double crochets. If you turn your work to the front, you'll see that exactly in the center you have your first bobble, which is of course the tip of our heart. Row 9 is basically a row of double crochets in each and every stitch. Row 9 is a row that we're always going to be making between the rows that have our bobbles. Our bobbles are all in the even rows, and all the odd rows are only double crochets. So I'm going to show you row 9, and I'm going to show you again row 11, because it's important that you don't miss the stitches around the bobble. So I'm just quickly going to start. So chain 1 and then work a double crochet on every stitch. And like I said, you especially want to pay attention to the bobble, that you don't accidentally work one too many or actually skip a stitch, because on every row you have to have 29 double crochets. So if you're ever in doubt, just count your stitches and they have to be 29. If they're not, you must probably made a mistake around the bobble, either adding one, or what usually happens is actually forgetting one. So I'm almost to the bobble, and then this will be stitch number 13. Remember, you've got 14 stitches up to the bobble. Let me just show you around the bobble itself. If I just pull it slightly apart, you see there's a stitch here. That's one before the bobble. You still want to work that stitch. And then on top of the bobble, if you turn forward, you see that little eye here. That eye. That's from the chain 1. And that eye, you also want to work a double crochet. So really in that eye. And then the rest of the bobble you want to skip. So if you look here, you see here all these loops from the bobble. All of these you want to skip those and go to the next stitch after the bobble. That's, if I pull it apart, you see that little stitch, that hole there. So you're going for the next stitch. And this is again the first of 14 stitches on this side also. And that way you've worked again 29 double crochets. So it's basically one on every stitch. And in row 11 I'll show you again, especially around the bobble, because you don't want to make mistakes there. And then after that I'm only going to show you the rows that actually have the bobbles, because the other rows are always the same, just a double crochet on every stitch. And I'm almost to the end of the row, and on your last stitch you work your last single crochet, double crochet. And then you've completed row 9, and now we're going to work a new series of rows with 2 bobbles. For row 10, again chain 1 and turn your work, and now we're going to start with 12 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, and then this here is number 12. And in the next stitch we're going to work a bobble again. So that's yarn over, insert into the stitch, take off 2 loops. Again, 2 times. You're going to do this 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Take them all off, chain 1. Now going to work 3 double crochets on the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to work a bobble again. So in the next stitch, that's 1, 2, 3, and now we work a bobble again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First bits of a treble, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. And on this side we now again have to make 12 double crochets, exactly the same as on that side. Especially that first stitch, be mindful of that first stitch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and then the last one here is number 12. Just look at what we've made. You see now you have this small triangle that's really forming the tip of our heart. I'm going to show you row 11 one, which is again a row of double crochets on every stitch. To do the chain 1, turn your work. Now you have the front facing, because when you make the bobbles you have the back facing, because bobbles have a tendency to pop backwards. I'm working a double crochet on every stitch, and I especially want to show you exactly where to work them around the bobbles, that you don't make any mistakes there. And then after that I'm only going to show you the rows that contain the bobbles, because it's always the same. It's a double crochet on every stitch for all the odd rows, and only in the even rows the magic happens. I have a stitch here, it's a double crochet, and now before the bobble, that last stitch before the bobble, this one, you want to work that one also. Then on top of the bobble, you're looking for that little eye, that's going to work a double crochet in there. Then make sure to skip all the loops that are belonging to the bobble, and in this case you have 3 stitches between the bobbles, so be sure you're going to work all 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, to work a double crochet. It's 1, 2, and then this is number 3. Then on top of the next bobble, here you see that little eye again. Work a double crochet, and in the next stitch after the bobble, that's that one there, again working a double crochet, and in this case it's 12 until the edge, but it really depends on where you are on the square, how many double crochets there are where. Fact is, you want 29 on every row, so if you're ever in doubt, count them. There should be 29, and if something went wrong, it most probably went wrong around the bobble, and you most probably missed a stitch. And then this is the last one. That completes row 11, and now in row 12 we're going to make 2 more bobbles. Row 12, chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to start with 10 double crochets this time. That's 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and number 10. The next stitch we're going to work a bobble again. So that's 1, 2 times, 3, 4, 5 times the beginning of a treble, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. Now to go to we need to go to the other side of the heart, of course, and in this case it is 11 double crochets. Sorry, no, 7 double crochets. Next time we do 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 7 double crochets, and now we make a bobble again, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the first bit of a treble, take it all off, chain 1. Now we're going to do double crochets till the end, and those are 10 in total. Again, be mindful not to skip that first stitch after the bobble. So if your count doesn't work out right, you have most probably forgotten to do the stitch immediately after the bobble. It's going to work until the end again. Two more, and on the last one, like so. This is the point where you are right now. Your heart shape, the tip is really starting to take shape. Going to work a double crochet on every stitch, and then I'll see you for the next round after that. If we just check how we are for size at this point, you'll notice if I put my square on my gauge swatch that I'm now within the edges of my square. Remember, I was actually over at the beginning, and this is because these bobbles you've just made, they somehow make your work shrink because they are slightly tight, and so everything is just kind of contracted now. And I'm actually very happy with this. If you look, you're nicely within the edge. So I'm going to continue my work in my current hook size and my current way of working. Row 14 is again chain 1, turn your work, and now we're going to work 8 double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets, and in the next stitch you work a bobble stitch again. 2, 3, 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1. Now again I want to go to the other side of this bobble, so to here, and those are 11 double crochets on the next stitches. That's 1, 2, 10 and number 11, which brings you to the other side of the bobble. And now we're going to make a new bobble in this position. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then take them all off, chain 1. You should have 8 stitches left till the end. I'm going to do a double crochet on each. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is number 7, and the last one, number 8. Turn your work to the front. This is where we are right now. If your heart is really taking shape, and now again work a row of double crochets, and then we can work another row of bobbles. Row 16, again chain 1, turn your work, and this time we're only going to do 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. Again, a bobble in the next stitch, so there are 5 trebles together basically, and 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, pull through, chain 1. Now we again need to cross over to this side of the heart, so that's a whole stretch this time round, 15 double crochets. That's the first one again. 1, 2, 3, 14, and the last one, number 15. A bobble again in the next stitch, 5 legs, and then we take them all off again. And this is number 5. Take them all off, chain 1. You should have 6 stitches left before the end, so we can do a double crochet on each. 2, 3, 4, and this is number 5, and the last one, number 6, like so. Your heart is really taking shape now. Again, work a row of double crochets on every stitch, and then I'll see you for the row after that. Row 18, chain 1, turn your work, and this time only 4 double crochets to start with. So, and that's also the farthest point of our heart. So only 4 double crochets, and now again a bobble, 2, 3 legs, 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1. Going to have to do all the way to this side again, so that's 19 double crochets. And number 19. You should have 5 stitches left. On the next one you make a bobble again, and that's the edge of the heart on the other side. And 5, take them all off, chain 1. On your last 4 stitches you work a double crochet on each. And 4. And this is the point where we are right now. Work a double crochet again on every stitch, and in the next round we'll be making 3 bobbles. We're about halfway now, and I just want to check how we are for size. If you have a look at your square, you'll notice that we're now suddenly somehow a lot shorter on our gauge swatch than we were at the beginning, and the bubbles somehow seem to shrink this square. Now there is some stretch in here. You can pull this up, you can pull it this way, so if it is too small there is some stretch in here that you can kind of catch with blocking. But remember, if you stretch this way, it's gonna become shorter. If you stretch this way, it's gonna become shorter in this direction. So you gotta make a choice how you are on size. I'm happy with this. I can get it to a good width that I can still make the border, and I'm gonna have to do about the extra half here. So I'm happy with this. I'm gonna stay with my hook size. If you are, however, seriously smaller, please go up a hook size. It might be worth the effort on this square. So I'm going to continue, and at the end I'll seriously have to block this because you can see it's curling all over the place. So this square will need a lot of blocking. Row 20, chain 1 again, turn, and again 4 double crochets. So we're going to work a bobble on top of the same position we already have one. That's 4 double crochets. So on top of this position you already have a bobble there. You're going to work another one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take them all off, chain 1. We're now going to work 9 double crochets because we also want a bobble here in the middle. It's going to be the center dip of our heart. That's 1. I'm going to work 9 double crochets, 2, 3, 8, 9 double crochets, and now a bobble again. And this bobble should line up with the tip of your heart right at the bottom. So if that's a double check for you that lines up. And 4 and 2, 3. Yes, take them all off, chain 1. So the double check is that this bobble and that one, that this should be in line. And now we work 9 more double crochets, and then we work the last bobble, 2, 7, 8, number 9, and the next stitch work a bobble again, and that's exactly above the bobble that you already have on this side, so that's on top of that one. And these bobbles, at a certain point you'll really have the rhythm of how to make these. Take them all off, chain 1, 4 more stitches left, going to work a double crochet on each. And number 4. Look at where we are right now. Now you're again going to work a row of double crochets, and after that we're going to start filling up the center part of the heart. Row 22, again chain 1, return your work, and we're again starting with 4 double crochets. And now work a bobble again on the next stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take them all off, chain 1. Going to work 8 double crochets on the next stitches, and then make a bobble again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets, and now again a bobble. This one is just slightly offset to the center one we've just worked in the 2 rows down. And this is leg number 5. Work only one double crochet, and in the next stitch immediately work a bobble again. So these two are really close together. And also when you come back and you work your row of double crochets, now after you've completed this row, be sure to also catch this single crochet that's or this double crochet that's in between there, that you also work that stitch. Yes, take them all off, chain 1, and now again 8 double crochets, and that's to get you on top of the next bobble. 7, and number 8, and then this one is on the same position as the one that's below it, from 2 rows down. 3, 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1, and on your last 4 stitches you work a double crochet on each. And then last one, doesn't feel like it, there we go. And this is what your heart looks like at the moment. Now work a row of double crochets on every stitch. Row 24, chain 1, and this time we're starting with 5 double crochets. So don't make the mistake of making 4 here, you're making 5. There's 3, 4, 5, and then a bobble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again take them all off, chain 1. I'm going to repeat this 4 times, so again 5 double crochets, 5 double crochets, and then we work a bobble again. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1, and again 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another bobble. So there's a nice rhythm here because you're making 5 double crochets, and then the bobble is also 5 parts of a treble. So it's easy to count a lot of 5s here. Chain 1, and again 5 double crochets. By this time you really know how to make the stitches. 5, and again a bobble stitch, and after the stitch you should have 5 stitches left, on which you're going to work 5 double crochets until the end. And then we've only got 1 row left for bobble stitches, and then our last 5 double crochets here till the edge. This is number 4 and 5. There we go. This is where you are at the moment. Work a row of double crochets again, and then we've got our last row of bobbles where we're going to close our heart. Row 26, last row with bobbles. Chain 1 again and turn, and we're starting with 7 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets, and I've got everything twisted here, and then again a bobble stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5 legs, take them all off, chain 1. We're only going to do 1 double crochet now, only the 1, and then immediately make another bobble. 2, 3, 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1. Now we need to go all the way to this side, so that's 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is number 9, and now we're again going to work a bobble, 1 double crochet and a bobble. So it's the same on this side as we've done on that side. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take them all off, chain 1, and 1 double crochet in between the bobbles, and then another bobble. This is really forming the top part of our heart. 4, 5, take them all off, chain 1. You should have 7 stitches left till the end. You're going to work a double crochet on each of those. 3, 4 more, and when you're done, almost done on the last stitch, when you're done, you can see how you've completed your heart. When you're at this point, you're going to do exactly the same up top here as you've done at the bottom. You're basically going to do 8 more rows of double crochets. So I'm not going to show this on the video, I'm sure you can do this without me, so just go and make row 27 to 34 just double crochets, 8 rows of double crochets, and then we can do the border. When you've done your 8 rows of double crochets, this is what your square looks like at the moment. We're now again going to make the edge, and that is 26 double crochets along each edge. Now realistically speaking, first going to do the chain 1, you are going to have to do a double crochet 2 together at least once, maybe even 2 times, to really get everything to fit perfectly, because you've got 29 stitches on this edge and you've got 34 rows along here, so you really are going to have to just fudge this a little bit. So 26 stitches. So for example, I'm just going to do the first one. I'm going to do a double crochet 2 together, but you can do it at a different point also, that really doesn't matter. Point is, you want 26 stitches, and you don't want to leave holes because you're skipping that stitch and then going there. You're just going to see that. So rather work a single crochet 2 together, and also along the edge, if you were, also along this edge here, also somewhere work a double crochet 2 together, and go all the way around. And in your corners, you're of course doing 3 double crochets. So this corner here, for example, and this one here, do 3 double crochets, and also mark your corner stitch exactly the same as we've done before. So go all the way around, and then we're done for this week. When you're all done, this is what your square looks like. You'll see it's really curling inward quite a lot, and that's because of all these double crochet stitches. It just curls hopelessly. So really block this square really well. You also notice it stretches quite a lot, especially in this direction. There's a lot of stretch in it, so you use that stretch to really get the correct size of square. So block your square. When you finish blocking it, it'll look like this, which is nice and flat and straight edges. This is the color crafter version. I also have one in the merino, which is of course very comparable, just ever so slightly more matte in finish. That brings us to the end of week 7. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week for week 8.